Metal Gear Solid Delta is shaping up to be a true-to-form remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. However, this iconic game is packed with remarkable gameplay details that are essential for Delta to retain or even expand on. Today, we're going to take a look at 5 of these awesome details. Make sure you stick around until the end, as you might learn some boss fight strats that will hopefully make their way into Delta. And just a heads up, there will be light spoilers, so proceed with caution if you're new to MGS3 and want to stay completely fresh on the game's story. Let's get into it.
Snake, that building next to you is a provision storehouse.
A provision storehouse is where the enemy keeps their food. Enemy units in that area use it to stock up on rations. So if you happen to blow up a provision storehouse, the enemies in that area won't be able to get any more rations.
Let's kick things off with a detail that many of you might already know. In Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, you can use TNT to destroy various armory and food storage sheds, which can significantly impact enemy forces. Blowing up armory sheds reduces the ammunition available to enemy guards, eventually leaving them with only side pistols. While this might not be a game changer for every single encounter, it's a handy tip, especially for newcomers to MGS3 and by extension Delta. On the flip side, destroying food storage sheds offers substantial benefits. It drastically lowers enemy stamina, causing soldiers in the area to complain about hunger. This not only adds a touch of humor, but also makes them easier to handle non-lethally. On lower difficulties, you can simply roll into them to knock them out temporarily. CQC also becomes more effective, often taking them out with a single slam. Moreover, if you throw rotten or poisonous food into the mix, the status effects they cause are amplified when guards are hungry, and guards are also much more likely to eat whatever you throw at them. Lastly, when enemies are in this famished state, the accuracy of their shots is reduced. However, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. First, blowing up these sheds will alert any nearby enemies to your presence. Second, you won't see the full impact of your actions until you revisit these zones. For the most benefit, target areas you'll be revisiting, like the dock and warehouse areas you come across before your encounter with the end. Since you'll pass through this area multiple times, weakening the enemies there can make it easier to sneak by unnoticed. To get a feel for this gameplay mechanic, start by exploring the Bolshaya Pass base map. This area features both a weapon munition shed and a food storage shed. Another interesting twist in Bolshaya Pass base is that you can use the TNT you employ to destroy these sheds to also blow up the helicopter parked on the helipad. Doing so will prevent helicopters from appearing in the mountaintop maps later in the game. Instead, you'll face enemies on hovercrafts, which isn't recommended as their ability to spot you is higher than the helicopter. Additionally, if you shoot out the light on a hovercraft, it will return to base for maintenance. It's a small but clever detail that showcases the game's attention to realism. One of my favorite details is how Snake's vision adjusts in dark environments. For example, in the caves before his encounter with the Pain, Snake's eyes gradually adapt to the darkness, making it easier to see over time. This adjustment takes about 10 minutes and significantly improves visibility. Navigating the caves can be challenging, especially for first-time players. This mechanic not only highlights the developer's meticulous attention to detail, but also serves a practical purpose by helping new players find their way if they're feeling lost. If you need an extra boost, you can use the cigar to provide some illumination or search for helpful items. But it's reassuring to know that Snake's eyes have your back in the dark. A gameplay detail that's sort of related to Snake's vision, and one that is extremely useful despite most players not using it, is the fact that you can actually make Snake stand on his tiptoes while aiming in first-person view. While this may seem pointless, it's actually the fastest and most consistent way to get easy headshots. Within a certain range, weapons lock onto enemies, and if you're at just the right distance, standing on your tiptoes raises the weapon to the perfect height to land a headshot. Try it next time you find yourself at Razvet during the Virtuous mission. Another notable detail concerning Snake's eye, specifically his damaged one, is the visual effect you'll see in first-person view. After his eye is irreparably damaged, the edge of the screen becomes blacked out, representing the loss of his depth perception and peripheral vision. While this doesn't impact your aim or overall gameplay, it serves as a reminder of Snake's injury. Additionally, after Snake loses his eye, if you save the game and return to the main menu, you'll notice that Snake now sports an eye patch while performing CQC moves on guards. The Rykov mask in your inventory also reflects this change, with its eye covered up to mirror Snake's condition. And since we find ourselves in the game's menu, let's talk about it. In Metal Gear Solid 3, the menus serve multiple crucial functions. They help you manage Snake's health by providing detailed information on his injuries and also how to treat them. They also let you change his camouflage to improve his camo index and blend into the environment. We've already confirmed that at least one of these menus will return in a nearly identical form. However, the menus offer more than just basic functionality. They're packed with intriguing details and mechanics that can impact gameplay. One of my favorite hidden features is the ability to make Snake vomit. If you spin him around 11 times and then exit the pause menu, he'll throw up. While this might just seem like a humorous little detail, it can be surprisingly useful. For example, once you're captured and need to escape your cell, making Snake vomit prompts Johnny to unlock the cell and come inside to check on him. This gives you a chance to neutralize Johnny and make your escape. The menus also feature hidden poses for both Snake and Eva. These poses can be triggered by accessing the cure menu at specific times of the day or when Snake is under certain status effects. Additionally, these menus offer a deeper dive into characters like Eva. Just as you can explore Snake's medical history, you can also uncover details about Eva's past procedures and enhancements. In Metal Gear Solid 3, you can collect, capture, and eat various plants and animals to restore stamina and gain special effects. For instance, Russian glow caps can recharge batteries for items that have them, like the night vision goggles. The spatsa is a sleep-inducing mushroom. Be cautious with this one. Eating it at a high altitude or while you're in deep water could spell trouble. On higher difficulties, enemies' keen hearing can turn even harmless actions into tactical advantages. For example, firing at plants or mushrooms in order to collect them can attract enemy attention. Captured animals also serve as tools for tactical maneuvers. Live snakes and venomous spiders can be thrown at enemies to poison them. Poison dart frogs can be used similarly. Throw them at foes to bait them into eating one. Coupled with tactics like blowing up sheds to starve out enemies, these methods can effectively neutralize guards. And here's a particularly dark detail. On the mountaintop maps in the latter part of the game, vultures will feast on the corpses of fallen enemies. If you eliminate a vulture and then eat it, you'll regain more stamina compared to just eating a regular vulture. This also triggers a unique dialogue line from the Sorrow. Finally, keep an eye out for hidden techniques involving consumable items to gain an edge against bosses. For instance, consider using an empty hornet's nest when facing the pain. When he summons his hornets, placing the nest causes them to congregate in it, stopping them from attacking you. In addition, this strategy rewards you with the Hive of Pain Hornets, which, when eaten, recovers all of Snake's stamina and it never spoils. This makes it one of the very best food items in the entire game. Russian glow caps, the same mushrooms that recharge your battery, can also be strategically used against Colonel Volgin. They act as a lightning rod, absorbing his electric attacks. This tactic can be particularly effective as Volgin's electricity-based attacks are among his most dangerous. And since we're already discussing boss fight tactics, MGS3 features some of the most iconic and beloved boss fights in the entire series. One of my personal favorite aspects of MGS3's bosses is the fact that there are so many ways you can defeat them. So in this portion of the video, I'm going to rapid fire some lesser known details and strategies for each boss. Starting with our boy Ocelot. As you probably know, the battle against Ocelot is a gun duel similar to his fight in MGS1. While you can take Ocelot on honorably and just go for shots on Ocelot himself, you can also use your surroundings to your advantage. There are various items placed around the map near Ocelot that can be shot and used as a distraction to cause Ocelot to stop in his tracks, allowing you some free shots on target. You can also shoot off his infamous red beret for the same effect. Additionally, since Ocelot has plot armor, you can actually defeat Ocelot by lethal means and it will have no effect on your rank as it will not count as a kill. Due at least partially to MGS3 running at 60 frames per second on the HD Collection and Master Collection, you can actually completely avoid being hit by the Pain's bullet hornets by going into first-person view. This completely trivializes one of his most lethal attacks. And also, according to Hideo Kojima, equipping the snow camo as well as the snow face paint against the Pain and his hornets is meant to deter the bees from attacking you due to the fact that this getup resembles a beekeeper's outfit. This is because most bees are trained to avoid the color white. However, this doesn't seem to work on newer versions of the game. The fake death pill is the Fear's worst enemy. Using it at the beginning of the fight causes him to run over to you in order to investigate your body. Eventually, he'll grow bored and turn around near you. Once he does, you can use the revival pill and throw a stun grenade at the ground near the Fear. After it goes off, you can use any lethal weapon to fire into him and it will count as non-lethal damage, as you can see. You can also literally burn this man alive by using this method. The End's parrot can be tranquilized and captured at the beginning of the fight. If you ever lose track of the End, you can then release the parrot and follow its flight back to its owner. Similarly, if you need some help finding the End, you can input the Konami code while you're looking at the map, and this will allow you to see the End's current position. Keep in mind this only works on lower difficulties. There's also a pretty humorous detail involving the crocodile cap. If you wear the croc cap in the Soak Ravenna West map, while the End is currently on this map as well, he will see you but disregard you as just another crocodile inhabiting the area. The Fury is super susceptible to damage from your knife, but it's a bit difficult to get that up close and personal to him. To make this easier, you can equip all black camo and face paint in order to blend in. Another lesser known detail is that you can actually shoot the pipes hidden throughout the map in order to extinguish the flames if they start getting out of hand. Lastly, the box is super underrated in this fight as a way to douse flames and avoid damage. While not really a boss fight, there are a bunch of little details during this portion of the game. If you want to just get this section over with as quickly as possible, you can drown Snake or find another way to die and then use the revival pill. Keep in mind, however, that any time you spend in this encounter against the Sorrow does not actually count toward your in-game time. Technically, you could spend an hour here and your time won't increase. If you took out Rykov lethally, you'll see him in the river in his underwear along with the bosses you've taken out. The ghost bolts the Sorrow sends at you flash a snippet of his death. You can mess with Volgin by wearing the Rykov mask. This will bring him to his knees and allow you a free shot. As mentioned, throwing Russian glow caps can be an effective method to absorb some of his most lethal attacks. Additionally, you can use the Sig gas spray when Volgin runs out of electricity and attempts to recharge. Similarly to Ocelot, Volgin has plot armor at this point, so you can use lethal means to beat him without causing a kill to appear on your stats. The best weapons to do this with are the SVD or the Patriot if you're on New Game Plus, as they do a ton of damage to Volgin. The Shagohod can actually be weakened quite a bit when you first encounter it while you're escaping Groznygrad with Eva. There is a limit to how far down you can get its health, however any damage done to it throughout this entire section of the game will help you take it down faster. Similarly to the Fear, the boss is highly susceptible to stun grenades. One of the best methods to defeat her non-lethally is by using stun grenades to blind her paired with CQC and also either the Mosin Nagant or the Mark 22 trank gun. A lesser known detail is that you can use the Keraton posted up on the tree in the center of the map as a way to distract the boss. There's also a small Easter egg here that has to do with the 3 different snakes you can find slithering around this map. The snakes can be found near the fallen logs, and they are named after Solid, Liquid, and Solidus. These details are just the very tip of the iceberg as far as Metal Gear Solid 3 is concerned. With confirmation that Delta is going to be a one-for-one remake in every way as far as voice acting and the game's story goes, we can only wish that gameplay details such as these are also treated with the same respect and maybe even expanded on. If you want to see the latest news from Metal Gear Solid Delta, make sure to watch this video I made compiling all of the information we have so far. And make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching and see you all in the next one.